What's up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the family. So, today is story time, and I am going to be sharing my story on why I dropped out of varsity. And yeah, so I'm excited about that one. But before I even start, I've got two disclaimers, right? The first one, in no way am I advocating that people should drop out of varsity or school, right? But I am advocating for your mental health and to say, are you okay? Are you fine? Are you coping? Is everything good? You know, I'm advocating for that you go seek professional help if you are not okay. And then the second one is I am not a therapist, I am not a clinical psychologist. So I'm just sharing my personal story. So if you do happen to find that you might have similar symptoms that I experienced and you feel like you might be depressed, please go seek professional help from someone who has a qualification and is qualified, so they can actually be able to diagnose you properly and give you the necessary treatment and support that you need. So that is very, very important. So I just think let us get into the story time. So yeah, in 2019, I lost my dad and I was in my third year. And I just believe that I didn't mourn and also didn't grieve my dad. So I just swept things under the rug. I was like, no, I just need to get this degree. And yeah, we'll see the grieving process later. Right now, we just need to focus on this degree. And yeah, I think the worst decision I've made in my life, because fast forward to 2020, with social work, it's a 4-year program. So in your fourth year, you actually are placed in different organizations to go do your practicals. So basically, I was placed in a hospital and I was in the maternity ward. So in the maternity ward, we're doing a lot of bereavement counseling, loss and trauma. And I believe I was triggered. And yeah, there's something that they call a counter transference. So basically, it's when the therapist emotions are influenced by the client. So basically, if you haven't dealt with something, the client will always trigger you. And I believe that I was counseling people about loss and how to deal with grief. But on my end, I hadn't even started. I haven't even dealt with my own dad's loss and all of those things. So it just triggered me a lot and I crashed. And as I crashed, I started having these different types of symptoms. So my first symptom that I remember is I had this persistent sadness. I was always sad and I felt like I just wanted to cry, and I was crying all the time. And extreme fatigueness. I also remember I lost concentration. So I couldn't concentrate on like little tasks and basic things. And also I found it very, very difficult to complete tasks. Like something as in typing an email, typing a report. I found it very, very difficult. It was an extreme sport for me. Basically, I lost appetite. I was oversleeping. All I wanted to do was just be in bed and sleep. And I started experiencing these symptoms, and it came to a point when I had to go to work. I would make excuses. I just didn't want to go back to work. And if I did go to work, I remember my routine. I wouldn't start in the bathroom, but when I have to go to the ward, I would want to just go to the bathroom and I'd lock myself and I would just start crying. And I remember if I had to go into the ward, I would just have this young minor panic attack and I wouldn't be okay. I just wanted to get out of the ward because I felt suffocated and I felt like it's not a place where I should be in. I am not okay. So yeah, I started with those symptoms, and I remember now I just wanted to drop out. I didn't want to go back to work. I just wanted to drop out. And I remember, I had conversations with my sister. I had conversations with friends. And a lot of people were like, Kanye, do not drop out. This is your final year. You can do this. You can push. And I believe that the people were right. But one thing that I learned that, when you're depressed, basic things become very hectic for you. I just saw it myself, like writing an email, typing an email was hard. Writing a report was difficult. You can't even concentrate. So basically, it was very, very difficult for me. And at that time, when you're in that depressive mode, because there's chemical imbalances, you're not thinking straight and you are not you. So basically, I couldn't. I mean, I tried and I couldn't continue, and that's when I had to honestly put myself first and say, I matter, I come first. And I didn't want to lose myself. So I was like, no, this is the decision that is best for me. And I think the most frustrating part about this when I was depressed is you lose yourself. So I was being introduced to a new me, a me that now wants to sleep all day, a me that is crying every day, a me that doesn't want to get out of bed, take care of herself. So I was being introduced to a new me. So it frustrated me because I'm such a perfectionist. And when I do something, I go for it. I go for what I want. And I give it 110 and 20% because I know I'm able and I'm capable. So the fact that, at that time, I didn't feel such and I couldn't do such, it frustrated me, and with all of this, if you do drop out, what I experienced is I felt like a disappointment. Firstly, I believe that I felt like I disappointed God because, I was like, God, in your word that you say we must glorify you in everything that we do, and you're a God of excellence. And I believe that you said this degree belongs to me. So the fact that I couldn't even finish, I was like, I've already disappointed God. So sekuphelile, And secondly, I felt like I disappointed my late dad and my mom because they have sacrificed so much for me. I mean, they sacrificed so much. There was not a day my school fees wasn't paid. I didn't have food on the table, accommodation. I was sorted, they sacrificed so much. They gave so much of themselves. And I felt like, I'm going to disappoint them, and especially my late dad because he always wanted this degree with my mom, both of them. They always wanted this degree. And I just felt like a disappointment. And when you are depressed, feelings of guilt and shame are also one of them. So I was feeling very guilty and I had the shame, to say, Kanye, you can't even just push for your parents, And thirdly, I felt like I was going to make my haters happy. I was like, these people that value, there are people that thought or are praying that I didn't get the degree. And now they're going to be happy. I'm going to make my haters happy. But then I had to realize that it's not about the people. This thing is about me. At the end of the day, I'm the one who's not okay. So I matter. I come first, And lastly, I felt like I disappointed myself, to be really quite honest. Because, as I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a go-getter, I mean, when I do something, I do it. So the fact that I couldn't do it, I was like, Kanye, who are you? And being reintroduced to this new girl, it was a transformation. It was a transformation, and it's still a learning process with everything. And I just want to thank the Lord that I have a supportive family. Because I remember when I wanted to drop out, I called my sister. My sister's like, you can come back home. I called my mom, and I remember her words. She's like, come back home because we don't want to lose you. And for me, that was my saving grace because I felt like if my family didn't support me, I don't think I was going to make it because I'm in Bloemfontein and I'm by myself, there's no support, so I had to be closer to family. I had to be closer to the people that I love. And I thank the Lord that they were supportive and they loved me through it, even when I didn't understand myself. Because when you are depressed, you don't understand also what's going on. You don't even understand your own emotions, your feelings. Everything is just, like a blur. You're just still trying to figure it out, so I thank the Lord for that. And what I'm trying to say is, it is so important. Please get social support. Whether you have just a friend that you talk to, whether it's your siblings, whether it's your parents, whether it's your therapist, a counselor, whether it's your priest, your pastor, it's so important to just have somebody to talk to when you're going through these things, and someone who's going to support you, not just somebody you're going to talk to, but someone who's going to support you in these decisions, in your feelings and your emotions when you're going through life. And you need people who will support you and not judge you. So I feel like it's so, so important to have people who can support you. Because for me, that was my saving grace. You can't do this thing called life alone. You can't, and because you're not going to make it. And that's what I saw, that if I didn't have support from my family, I don't think I was going to make it. And also, just one thing that I'm learning is, let us check up on each other. It's so important. Let us check up on each other. Let's love one another, and let us not judge. And I'm also learning that, with depression, it's different. It varies for everyone. It's not going to be the same for everyone. So we're not all gonna experience the same symptoms, So there was a quote that I read. It said, mental illness comes in different forms. Other people can get out of bed, others can't. Others can eat, others can't. Others self-harm, others don't. Others can keep a job, and some can't. But mental illness is still valid. So whether you can keep a job and others can't, whether you can eat or not, it's still the same thing, because it matters, because your feelings, your mental state is very, very important in what you're going through. So basically, I'm also just learning to say, guys, I think sonke siyakowisha in some way in our lives, we going, okay, I don't know if it sounds right, means we're going, but we all have things that we need to deal with. And as I was saying earlier, that we need to love one another. We need to stop being judgmental. We need to try understand other people, because we all have our own things that we're going through, and we're all stressed and all of those things. So we just need just a little bit of love. And I just want to share, before I end the video, I want to share scriptures that they helped me. They held me, because something about the word of God is, it's always there, it's alive, and God's promises are always there. And I believe with these 3 scriptures, guys, they kept me. They kept me. The first one is Peter 5 verse 7. He says, cast all your cares onto him, because he cares. So I had to give everything to God. I was like, God, it's heavy on me. God, I'm about to drop out. God, I'm not okay. I'm crying every day. God, I am confused. God, I have this guilt. I've got this shame. I'm giving it to you, because you care for me and you understand exactly what's happening to me and what's going on. And I also just love Matthew 11, verse 28 to 30. And, the Lord says, come to me all who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. And he says, and he continues to say, I will give you rest for your soul, because his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And then I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, Lord, you need to carry my burden. And when he says your burden is light, he means, you know what? You might think it's heavy for you. You might think what you're going through, it's a lot, But for me, I will carry that burden, and I will carry it so you can't even feel it. And it was just one of those things. I had to give everything to God. I had to cast my cares. I had to give him everything. And Isaiah 43 verse 2, guys, it says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the river, you shall not drown. And he says, when you walk through the fire, you shall not get burnt, and you will not be set ablaze. So I felt like I was walking in that water, and I felt like I was drowning. But God is like, you will not, I am with you. And I felt like, I'm burning. And God is like, you won't even smell like smoke. So these scriptures for me really, really did help me a lot. So I believe that it's important, if you are going through something in your life, find scriptures that are going to hold you up. Find scriptures that are going to uplift your spirit. So yeah, basically that's what I wanted to share. And guys, let us love one another. Let us be kind. And I believe that if you are going through something and you do believe you might be depressed and all of those things, I want you to be gentle with yourself. Just be gentle with yourself. Don't be too hard on you. And there was just one thing I was thinking about that says, quitting, it's not a weakness. Quitting is realizing that, I'm not fit for the battle. And there's nothing wrong with saying I'm not fit for the battle now, but it's not like I'm not going to come back. Right? But when you come back, you must come back the best you, the strongest you. So that's what I've told myself, that I might have not finished my degree at that time in record time, but it doesn't mean I won't go finish it. At that time, I wasn't mentally strong. So I want to go, when I get there, I'm going to be the best version of me. And yeah, so basically that's what I want. Your dreams are valid, and you matter. You are important. Never forget that you matter, you're important, and your mental health is just as important as your physical health. I can't emphasize this enough. I can't emphasize it enough. It is so important that you take care of yourself mentally, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can't. So yeah, so let us just love one another, and let's be kind. I hope you guys actually did enjoy my story time. I hope that you are able to find something, and I hope I was able to help somebody out there. I hope I was able to help somebody out there. And yes, so this is the end of the story time. So if you did like the video, please do like the video, subscribe, comment, share, and be part of the notification gang. Be part of the family. And and I hope actually you guys have a productive week ahead. May you just keep shining, and may you take care of yourself mentally. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.